ETFs are known for having three major advantages over mutual funds. Number one being transparency. They disclose what they own at every 15 seconds, and they're based on a rules-based index. Number two, liquidity. They trade all day, there's options, there's margin available. Three, low cost. That's what we're going to focus today, because what does low cost really mean? Well, it's usually defined as the expense ratio. And that expense ratio includes management fees, it includes operations, various other fund expenses, custody, and things like that. On average, from the studies I've seen, mutual funds have a substantially higher expense ratio, about 1.5%, whereas ETFs are on average around 50 basis points. But does the expense ratio tell the whole story? And that's what we're going to dive deeper into today. I'm going to use a 5-step process to show you how we would evaluate our core US equity exposure for our flagship neutral portfolio. We're going to start with two US all-cap ETFs, the Vanguard Total Market Index, ticker VTI, and the iShares Total US Market Index, ticker ITOT. It's important to understand that these two ETFs actually have 95% overlap. So we're dealing with an apples to apples kind of situation. So first step, the expense ratio. That's number one. VTI is at 5 basis points, ITOT is at 3. Doesn't sound like a big difference, but it's actually a 40% reduction in fee. So right now, ITOT looking better. Number two, tracking difference. That's the idea that through securities lending and other optimizations, an ETF can actually beat its index, which happens for both of these. But sec lending, it's important to understand different sponsors treat it differently. Vanguard, for example, gives 100% of the revenue produced from that back to the fund, whereas iShares keeps 30% and gives 70% back to the fund. Next step, 3, spreads. This is the cost of getting in and out, the difference between the bid and ask spread. With ITOT, it's 13 basis points. With VTI, it's 3. So buying it once and selling it once in a year could cause you as much as 13% difference in return, or 13 basis points of difference in return. Finally, the commissions. Let's just assume that they're equal on this to start. And if we were to do that, we can see from the chart here that owning $100,000 of VTI for 1 year and selling it would cost $72 versus $150 for ITOT. So the expense ratio definitely did not tell us the whole story. Let's take it one step further though. At Tarosa, we use TD Ameritrade currently as our primary custodian. VTI trades free there. So if you look at this screen, you can see that we could own VTI for 1 year for $100,000 and only pay $52. It's 1/3 the cost of doing the same thing with ITOT. The final step, step 5, let's just check the fundamentals. We know that they're 95% overlap. We know that the fees are better for VTI, but it's also nice to see that the price to sales, the price to book, the price to earnings are all superior. So that's our process of evaluating a true cost of an ETF ownership, of owning an ETF. Thank you for your time today.